to start by asking about Obi. Obviously, he's questionable on the injury report, so I imagine that means there's some level of progress there. Is he going to be available, and how's he just coming along in general?
He's out.
He's out.
Day-to-day.
How's Aaron coming along? I know he's obviously still out on the list, but is there any closer?
He's doing better. Yep. Don't have a timetable for you. But he's making progress, starting to do things live. Just don't know when he'll be back.
The opposition, could you speak to just how much he completed both ends of the floor once he returned from health and the minutes restriction?
Well, he's an important player for us. I think our record with him this year is 5-10. So, not much more needed to say.
Coach, you were in Dallas with KP for a few years. Obviously, you went through some big injuries while he was there. But he also dealt with a bunch of nagging injuries that came after those. He's dealing with some of that now after the offseason surgery he had. What can you say about his attitude in those moments and just his mentality and the willingness to stick through it and continue his recovery with what must have been a pretty heavy mental toll coming all the way back from an injury just to have some more nagging ones throughout the season?
Well, what I tell you is that he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He wants to play. Was a tremendous practice player. He's a great worker. When you have a 7'4" body like that, it's going to present some challenges, especially with the dynamic way that he plays, and he moves around the court like a guard. But I'll tell you this: the guy is a competitor. He's a total team guy, and whenever he has an injury, he does everything in his power to get back as quickly as possible. I mean, I was very surprised when he played in the deciding game last year. It just seemed like, and these guys are, without him, would, probably okay anyway. But he just, that's just him. He wants to play. He wants to help his team. He wants to be part of the team. And I know it meant an awful lot to him to win a championship. And I'm super happy for him for being able to experience that here.
Rick, you're obviously the leader of the coaching association, and Casey Jones is not in the Hall of Fame as a coach. He is as a player. Can you speak to the type of coach he was? He seems to be obviously extremely underrated for what he did throughout his career as a coach.
Yeah, he was a great coach. He had success other places, not only Boston. He won multiple championships as a head coach, and he's a man's man, and he just had an amazing way with people. And so much of coaching is the people element. I can't really explain why he's not in the Hall of Fame. I do know that as time goes on, men like him that have that kind of a record, continue to get consideration. So I'm sure it's something that the Hall of Fame has looked at. But he's one of the very, very, very special people that I met in my life, and he changed my life.